All right, today we're going to talk about something incredibly useful, a 5-step method for making your business better. And the best part? It's simple. No complex fads, no buzzwords, just real practical steps that actually work.
So let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? Your company jumps on every new trend, the latest software, some new management fad, spends a ton of money, and then nothing really changes. You end up right back where you started. It's a super frustrating cycle, right?
But what if the secret isn't some complex new system? What if it's about going back to the basics? That's what we're diving into today. How mastering the fundamentals can create real, lasting change. It's how you escape what's called active stagnation. You know, that feeling of being incredibly busy all the time, but not actually getting anywhere.
So, who's the mind behind this simple back-to-basics approach? Well, meet Dr. Ted Bibbes. He's a consultant who has seen this exact method work wonders out in the real world.
Okay, his whole philosophy really boils down to this one powerful idea. Everything is a process. See, it's not about hovering over your team and micromanaging them. It's about improving the systems they work within. When you focus on the process, you build trust. It becomes about facts and data, not about blaming people.
And listen, Dr. Bibbes really knows his stuff. He's got the experience to back all this up. We're talking an executive doctorate in business, a focus on project management, and he even led process improvement for the state of Georgia. He spent his whole career figuring out how to help organizations work smarter, not harder.
All right, so let's get into the good stuff. The method itself, the 5 simple steps.
So here they are. Step 1, establish reasonable expectations. 2, compare frequently. 3, capture reasons for variance. 4, publish your results and the reasons behind them. And 5, correct issues by acting. We're going to break down each one, but you can already see how it all flows together, right? You build a foundation, you measure and understand what's happening, and then, the most important part, you actually do something about it.
Okay, let's kick things off with step 1. Look, you can't improve anything if you don't know what you're aiming for, what your starting point is. But the wording here is so important. It's not just about setting a target, it's about establishing a reasonable expectation.
And that choice of words is totally on purpose. Think about it. When you establish something, it feels like you're doing it with your team, right? It's collaborative. It's not like setting a rule from on high. And using expectations instead of rigid standards, that opens the door to understanding why things might be different, instead of just slapping a pass or fail label on it. This simple shift in language builds trust right from the get-go.
Okay, so you've established those expectations with your team. Great. Now what? Step 2, compare frequently. Because, let's be honest, those expectations are useless if they just sit in a document somewhere. The real magic happens when you constantly check your actual work against them.
You've probably heard that old saying, what gets measured gets improved. And it's true, but Dr. Bibbes puts a really important spin on it. The more frequently you measure, the more frequently you improve. If you check in once a day, you get one shot to make things better. But if you check in every hour, now you've got way more opportunities to learn and adjust.
And that leads us perfectly into step 3, which is maybe the most important part of this whole thing. Capture the reasons for variance. So when your team's output doesn't quite match the expectation, or maybe it blows past it, you have to dig in and understand why. This is where the real gold is. This is where you actually start learning.
And let me be clear, capturing variance has nothing to do with pointing fingers. It's about getting smarter. You get to ask the important questions. Is this shortfall just a weird one-off thing, an anomaly, or is it a sign of a bigger, systemic issue? And hey, what if you're exceeding expectations? That's awesome, but why? Did someone figure out a brilliant new way to work, or are they maybe cutting corners? This is the info you need to make genuinely smart decisions.
So you got your data, you know the why behind the numbers. What's next? You can't just keep it to yourself. Step 4, publish results and reasons. This is all about being transparent. When you share this stuff openly, it stops being management's problem and starts being everyone's opportunity. It becomes our chance to get better, as a team.
And that brings us to the grand finale, step 5. The step that makes all the others matter. You must act. I mean, all that measuring, all that reporting, it's completely pointless if you don't actually do something with the information.
Because with action, you end up right back in that trap we talked about, active stagnation. You create this culture where everyone knows what the problems are, but nobody does anything about them. Honestly, that's even worse than doing nothing, because it absolutely kills morale. It's the small, consistent actions that really energize the team and build real momentum.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But the big question is, does this simple 5-step process actually work? Let's take a look at some real-world results.
Just look at these numbers. At an auto parts manufacturer, just by applying these 5 steps, their average daily productivity shot up from around 40% to nearly 70%. I mean, that is a massive, massive leap. So what does that actually mean for the people on the floor? Well, it translates to about 10 extra hours of productive work per person every single week. Just stop and think about that. What could your team get done with that much extra time?
And it's not a one-off. Here's another one. A food manufacturer started saving over $10,000 a month in labor costs. And get this, they shipped over 1 million pallets in a single year for the very first time. These incredible results didn't come from some massive, expensive overhaul. They came from applying these simple, basic principles.
So yeah, the proof is pretty clear. This simple approach really, really works. So let's talk about your next step.
If you want to learn more or maybe get some expert help putting these steps into action in your own organization, here's all the info for Dr. Ted Bibbes and his consultancy. You can reach him at 770-846-6759. His email is tnbibbes@tnbppmconsulting.com, and the website is www.tnbppmconsulting.com.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. Go back to step 3, capture reasons for variance. What is the one reason for variance, whether it's good or bad, that you need to start looking at in your organization right now? What's that first thread you need to pull to start your own journey of improvement? Thanks for tuning in.